What if John Wick was RoboCop Chapter 2, narrated by Lucimus Prime? This scenario begins shortly after Chapter 1, just like the movie, where John Wick / RoboCop is reclaiming his stolen Ford Mustang from a mafia led by Abram Tarasov, Viggo Tarasov's brother. He dispatches the mafia in a rampage before confronting Abram in his office. Abram still thinks RoboCop has his directives and he can't detain members of OCP, since Abram is an OCP worker. However, John reveals to him that he electrocuted himself to remove his directives, and then he shoots Abram in his legs, paralysing him. As Abram crawls on the ground in pain, John takes Abram's phone out of his pocket and leaves it on the desk, saying that the phone will allow his location to be traced to the police so they can arrest him for his crimes, effectively putting OCP out of business. John then says he is retiring, and Abram tells him to enjoy his retirement, like the movie. John then leaves Abram behind to be arrested. After retiring from the police force, John returns to his home with his dog. John is then visited by the Camorra crime boss, Santino D'Antonio, who reminds him that he was the one who helped John complete his impossible task, which allowed John to retire and marry Helen. In return, John swore to a marker, an unbreakable vow symbolised by a blood oath medallion. Santino presents the marker to demand services from John, who declines, saying that he is now in a new body being the RoboCop, and starting a new life. Santino retaliates by destroying John's house with a grenade launcher. John survives thanks to his armour, and he travels with his dog to the Continental Hotel in New York City, where Winston reminds John that if he rejects the marker, he'll be violating one of the two unbreakable rules of the underworld. One of them is no killing on Continental grounds, and the other is to honour every marker. Even though John technically died and is now RoboCop, John reluctantly accepts his commitment and meets with Santino, who tasks him with assassinating his sister Gianna, so he can claim her seat at the high table, a council of 12 high-level crime bosses. Santino sends Ares, his meat bodyguard, to observe John's mission. John travels to Rome, where he infiltrates Gianna's coronation at a concert and confronts her in a dressing room. Faced with certain death and knowing who John is under RoboCop armour, Gianna chooses to kill herself and asks John for help, so he draws out his blade and allows her to stab herself with it. John then completely fulfills the marker by shooting her in the head. As John leaves, Gianna's bodyguard Cassian recognises John for his RoboCop armour, and upon realising that he was sent to kill Gianna, attacks him using an assault rifle. John flees to the catacombs, where he is double-crossed by Ares and Santino's henchmen, who intend to tie loose ends by killing John. After killing most of the henchmen, John is again pursued by Cassian. Their fight leads them to the reception area of a Rome Continental Hotel, which, like the New York one, prohibits conducting any business on its grounds. As John and Cassian sit in the bar together while Cassian is drinking, John explains his reason for killing Gianna, but nevertheless, Cassian promises to kill John quickly as a sign of professional respect. As John returns to New York City, Santino, like the movie, opens a contract for $7 million to kill John under the guise of avenging his sister, leading numerous assassins to unsuccessfully attack John as he arrives in the city. Cassian confronts John in the subway and they fight, resulting in them ending up on a train where Cassian is able to damage some of John's armour near his heart, before John stabs Cassian with his blade, killing Cassian. The badly injured John seeks help from an underground crime boss known as a Bowery King, whose subordinates treat John's injuries and repair his armour, being as they were former OCP workers who left after hearing what happened there. Intrigued by John's intent to kill a member of the High Table, the Bowery King sportingly gives him a gun with only 7 bullets in, one for each million of the contract, and directs John to an art museum where Santino holds a gala. John pursues Santino throughout the museum, and he kills all his remaining henchmen alongside Ares. He's using his weaponry, but Santino manages to escape the Continental, where he intends to remain indefinitely in its sanctuary. John confronts Santino in the lounge as he is eating. Santino mocks John as he approaches armed with his gun. Winston warns John about the Continental rules, as does John's system inside him, warning him about it. Unlike the movie, John instead says he's taking Santino with him and he grabs Santino, He intends to take him off the premises of a Continental to execute him while avoiding breaking the rules. However, Santino continues to mock John even more and then mentions his wife Helen. This causes John to remember her and become enraged, causing him to shoot Santino in the head, killing him and breaking the no-killing rule of a Continental.
What have you done?
Winston is shocked that John broke the rule as John leaves Continental with his dog. The next day, Sharon takes John to Central Park where Winston is waiting for him. John meets Winston and Winston explains that per the high table, the contract on John has been doubled and offered globally. As a further consequence of killing Santino on company grounds, Winston is forced to declare John excommunicado, just like in the movie where all of his access and privileges to underworld resources had been terminated. John's system, however, notices that no one in the park is intending to harm him despite carrying lethal weapons. Winston then reveals they are all trained assassins behaving normally under his command because he is helping John escape. Winston reveals he is delaying announcing John's excommunicado by 1 hour to give him a head start and provides him with a marker of future use. Before leaving, John advises Winston to tell every other assassin for the high table that when they try to hunt them, they will all be killed, and Winston promises that, saying, just like a movie, of course he will kill them. John then departs with his dog as Winston makes the call announcing the excommunicado to be activated in 1 hour. As the contract is activated and cell phones begin to ring all around John, he then begins to move faster, alongside his dog starting to run faster. He then gets into his police car with his dog getting in the seat with him, and he sees numerous people looking at their phones, becoming aware of the announcement. He then starts his engine, setting up Chapter 3.